Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Wear It Wednesday. If you're looking to take your style and your image to the next level in an authentic way, then you are in the right place. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're here live, I want to say thank you very much for being here. If you're watching a replay, thank you very much for coming back and listening to today's conversation. Before I get into today's conversation, I do want to talk a little bit about, actually not talk a little bit, but I want to ask you, how are you feeling today? This is my wellness check-in. I think it's always good for us to pause and just breathe and take a moment to really check in with ourselves and see how we're feeling. So if you're here live, let me know in the chat how you feeling. How's your week going so far? If you're watching the replay, then of course I would love to hear how you're feeling as well and how is your week going so far. So thank you very much for being here. If you're new to this space, I'm Salida Roberts. I am the founder of Style to Impact. And recently, I was trying to remember if it was like a week. I think it was like a week ago the announcement was made, or a week and a little bit. Yeah, about a week ago. I was named one of LinkedIn's top voices in the fashion and beauty industry. And so I'm like super, super, super excited for that. Hence why I came today with some bling and just kind of like have a different vibe today because it's celebration, right? We don't always take the time to celebrate our accomplishments and ourselves, and so that's what I'm doing today. And just to be named in the same category and being awarded this type of getting to this type of achievement with women like Jennifer Hyman, which is the CEO of Rent the Runway, and oh, thank you very much. Yeah, and just the CEO of Harlem Fashion Row, which is Brandis Daniel, like just being in that category, I just imagine myself being on stage with these women, these phenomenal women within the fashion and beauty industry who are moving and making the different, just having a voice on wanting to change the fashion industry and the beauty industry to make it more inclusive and more sustainable for all of us. So it's just like, I'm like, yeah, I'm like super excited over that. So thank you very much. I see your comments. Is it Florence, I think, and Kendra? Please forgive me if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Thank you very much for being here, and also thank you very much for just saying congratulations to me. I appreciate that. Also, I wanted to really say thank you very much to LinkedIn, and thank you very much for my community here on LinkedIn for giving me this opportunity and this platform to really use my voice and share why it's so important for women to see themselves, how they want to show up and a reflection of who they are and really show up as themselves in the world. So I want to say big shout out to LinkedIn and of course all of you for supporting my content. And so that brings me to today's conversation. And from the title, you may have noticed that I'm talking about style priorities to focus on as you get older. And older, right? That definition of older, like what is older? And so, especially when it comes to what we wear and how we show up in the world. So I took to Google. For all things we Google, I took to Google to see what are some of the opinions out there when it comes to what should we wear as we get older. And oh my gosh, the list was endless, like endless things of what we should not wear. Do not wear this over 40. Things like not wearing a mini skirt, not wearing too much makeup, not wearing V-neck, not and it's again, I was just doing research, and my personal opinion is that I'm on this, especially on this topic of what women should wear, especially at a certain age. I have a different perspective on that. This is just my personal view. It's Style and how you show up is limitless. Like, you get to define that for yourself. I know personally, I do not subscribe to any of these over 40 or whatnot to wear a list, because at the end of the day, I defined my style for myself. I defined how I want to show up for myself. And the way I dressed at 20 and the way I dressed at 30 and the way I'm dressing now at 40, yes, there's some changes based on my own level of comfort, based on how I want to present myself, right? So I made that decision for myself, and not falling into these, I want to say superficial, but it's like these boxes that society want to put us in as women, and tell us, make us feel uncomfortable with aging and showing our experiences throughout the years. And so I do not subscribe to any of those things on the list. I think style is for you to define, and of course determine how you want to show up in the world, right? Because at different stages in your life, you will change, right? Your priorities change, your experiences change, how you live life change, your work change, everything about you will change. And so understanding who you are in that period of your life, right, in that season of your life, and really grasping, like, how do you want to show up during this season of your life, and making sure that you have a real sense of self, right? I think that's absolutely important when it comes to what you should wear and how you should show up at any age. It doesn't matter, right? What age you are. It's just like, what I'm talking about here is not specifically for, like, oh, women over 40, this is what you should do, or this is what you shouldn't do. No, this is general rules. But as we get older and we experience life differently and we get to know ourselves even better, our sense of style does change. And it's not changing to worse, it's changing to be more of ourselves, right? And as you think about your style, just understand that there is no shelf life on being you. Like, I absolutely believe there is no shelf life in being you. And I'm going to share with you these three women, like, absolutely amazing women. Would you believe they're all over 40, right? Because we have this idea that style and the way you dress and the way you express yourself is, you can only do that in your youthful years. And as you get older, as you get more experience in life, like, you're supposed to tame down your style. And going back to that, the list, what not to wear, it will tell you, don't wear baggy clothes, don't look too trendy, don't look, mix and bold colors, like, really. Like, really, it baffles me, like, when we're telling ourselves, like, don't be who you are, right? As you age, you are still who you are. There's certain things about you that will change. And so if you're on my email list, I'm sending out my email tomorrow, and I'm going to share in that email list some influencers, like ordinary women. These are not, because sometimes I get that it's like, oh, the women that are dressing a certain way after a certain age, they're in the media or they're public figures. And so it's, they have to dress that way to have that image. But no, you don't. You can dress the same way that you want to, right? You don't have to copy or try to dress like them. You dress the way you want to dress, regardless of your age, right? And so if you're on my email list, then of course tomorrow I'm sending out an email just to give some additional resources in terms of style icons and people that you can follow, just to see, like, it doesn't matter your age, right? It doesn't matter. Your self-expression, the way you show up, is more important than trying to confine to anybody else's definition of how you should show up. And so I think for us as women, it's not looking at age as aging ourselves out of opportunity, right? For a lot of us, we get to a certain point in our lives and we're like, oh, I'm older now, so I need to change the way I dress, right? I don't need to show my arms anymore. I shouldn't wear makeup and like jewelry that's long like this, and there's some bling on it. Like, we go through all these checklists of what we shouldn't do based on what society is feeding us, that what we should do at a certain age and how we should wear, what we should wear and how we should show up. And so I want to really encourage you to not look at aging as aging yourself out of experiences, because society is already looking at you and saying, oh, when you get to 40, these opportunities, you no longer qualify for these opportunities. And if you are doing that with your image and you're doing that with the clothing that you're wearing, you're also perpetuating that narrative that when we get to a certain age, right, we are going into retirement and we're going into, like, no, you can still be productive, you can still do amazing things, you can still show up as your amazing self. So if you don't take anything else from this conversation, take that one piece of advice, which is do not age yourself out of opportunities, especially when it comes to how you are showing up in a different space. So really embrace, it's important that you really embrace your life at every single stage and tweak your personal style, develop your personal style, discover, like, be on that journey of discovery of really understanding what are some of the things that you want to wear at this stage of your life. Like, I am in my 40s and shorts is something I very much so wear because I love my legs, because I love, I feel comfortable wearing shorts. I love, my arms. Like, so I'm gonna wear sleeveless. I love wearing V-neck. I love wearing backouts. It doesn't matter my age. It just means that I'm continue to dress in a way that makes me feel great about myself, that makes me uh, feel more confident and more comfortable being who I am. And so these style priorities that I'm sharing with you, again, do not take them as, oh, I'm at 40 now, so this just applied to me. This applies to everyone. But when you get, as you're aging and not aging, let me just change that word. As you are growing and experiencing life, right? Because that's what it is. How you approach life at 20 is not the same way you approach life at 30 or 40 or 50. So you're growing in experience as you get older, you're growing in experience. So think of these style priorities and strategies that I'm sharing with you today. It's not just for a particular age. It's strategies that you can use regardless of where you are in your life based on your age. And so the first priority that you really need to focus on is proper fit, right? Proper fit is key. One of the things when we look at someone who's well dressed and we're like, oh my gosh, that person looks so great in that. I wish I can dress like that. One of the things that they've done is really focus on fit, really focus on wearing clothes that looks like it was deliberately made for them. Nothing looks like off-putting or will make you look frumpy or will make you look not put together if you're wearing clothes that don't fit your body. Now, understand that when you go to these retail stores, when you go to your favorite boutique and you're buying pieces, the person that's designing and the person that's making that piece did not make that particular item with your specific body type in mind. They're making it from the factory ideal body type based on what they're thinking, their limited beliefs, right, as to what a woman's body look like. And they're not considering your body with your curves, with your height, with your unique features. And so it's important that when you're shopping, not to pay too much attention to the size in the stores and saying, okay, I'm a size 6 here, but why doesn't this fit me this way? And you going through that whole trap of size. And we'll talk about that later on as I go into more conversations on this Wear It Wednesday. We'll talk more. I'll touch a little bit more on the difference between size and knowing your size and your shape and all of that. But as I was saying here, your first priority is really to focus on fit and understanding. Part of making sure that you're wearing the right pieces and it's fitting you correctly is to also understand your body, right? Understand your unique body, understand your curves, understand how you want your clothing to fit and flat you, how you want your clothing to fall on your body, right? What feels comfortable for you. And understand that when you purchase a piece, you may have to get it tailored to your body, right? I will I'll go on retail sites and I'll do these reviews, like go through the reviews and reading what the comments that someone may leave and what they're saying, like, oh, this item, it was too big or it was too long. And I'm like, yes, because if you are super petite, 5 feet and under, and the brand that you're shopping, they don't have a petite section, then of course, if you buy that pants, it's going to be long, right? It's going to be long. But if you love it and if it fits you well in terms of from your waist, it flatters your shape and everything, and the only difference is the length of it, then of course you take it to a tailor and get it adjusted. So when you're thinking about fit, really prioritize one of the things as you're focusing on developing your styling, you're focusing on what that looks for you, what that looks like for you as you are getting older, and you're focusing on looking at your fit. Invest as well in a tailor to really help you to get your clothing to fit your ideal body type. And so that brings me to the second thing that you should really focus on, when it's style priority that you should really focus on as you're getting older, is investing in quality pieces, right? If in your youthful days you had like small budget, maybe you had a very limited budget, and one of the things, like even I see like my sister will share about some some things that people around her, I'm talking her business now, she can be like, nah. Like when they're younger, they're focusing on quantities, like how many pieces can I get for this $100, like how many pieces can I get, and there's no intention behind making sure that they have quality pieces in their closet to last them a longer time, right? And that happens when you're youthful. You have a limited budget and you just kind of like buy what you can afford. And we're seeing fast fashion just being like out there constantly being, we're seeing the change in fashion constantly, and it's like, oh, I need to keep up with the trends. And generally when you're young, that's what happens, right? It's just what happens. As you get older, what becomes a priority and should become a priority for you is really investing in those quality pieces and making sure that you are buying pieces that you love, right? That you feel great in, pieces that really tell your story. So that whenever you're getting dressed, it's like knowing what are some of your storytelling pieces, like what are the pieces that you really focus on that really makes you feel great. Like for me, colors is something that really makes me feel great in. So I'm going to invest in quality color pieces, because I know I'm not just buying it for today, but I'm buying it to last me a longer period of time. So that's the second strategy that you need to think about when you are focusing on your style, when you're looking at developing your style as you get older, is really investing in those quality pieces, because those are the pieces that's going to last you a longer time. And so you can focus on other things in your life instead of always having to buy clothing because you bought something that only lasts 2 months. Whereas if you made a better investment in your wardrobe and in that piece, is something that can last you 2 years. And so the other thing that you really need to focus on, style priority that you need to focus on as you get older, is opting for comfort, right? You should always, regardless of what your style is, anything that you decide to wear, you should always feel comfortable in your skin. Always. If you're wearing something because you're told this is what you should wear at this age, or this is what you should not wear, and you're trying to prove a point and you're trying to fit yourself into a particular trend or a particular style that doesn't really feel like you, it's going to show. It's going to show that you're uncomfortable showing your legs if you decide to wear a mini skirt. It's going to show that you're uncomfortable having your hair in a big style because that's not who you are. So when you're thinking about comfort and when you really think about who you are, right? And how do you want to show up? What's comfortable for you? Because for me, my arms out is comfortable for me, but it may not be comfortable for you, right? And so choose clothing that's comfortable for you, but not because someone told you not to wear it, right? They put you on that do not wear this over that age, right? So your comfort level should be based on how you want to show up and how you want to express yourself, because your level of comfort comes from also you striving to for self-acceptance and really feeling comfortable in your body and comfortable in your skin. And so you have to understand and know that with time, as you experience life, as you go through life, there's a lot about you that's going to change, right? And you get better. Hopefully the goal is at this stage of your life, you know a little bit more about yourself, you're more comfortable with yourself, you're more confident with who you are, and so you need to start looking for clothes that really aligns with your level of comfort and how you want to show up, because there's no better feeling like being your true and authentic self. And as you can see from the slide that I shared before, it does not matter what your age is, it does not matter, you know, what your lifestyle is. You don't have to adjust your personal style or downgrade your personal style because of these not to wear lists that everyone want to put us on as we grow through life and experience. And so the other option, this is the final thing that you need to focus on, is really choosing your color palette. And I want to really talk about this for a moment. When you're thinking about choosing your color palette, and I see this whenever, you know, I'm on social media or I'm seeing someone talk about what to wear and choosing your color palette, it's always that neutral colors, gray, black, was it gray, black, beige, white, like, oh, that's the color palette that you're choosing. You see, as women are getting older, they're like, oh, let's shift into that because that's safe. That's like, if the color makes you feel great in it, then do it. But don't do it because you're thinking that's the color palette that you need to step into. And so now is the ideal time to really experiment, right? What are some of the colors that you really like? What are some of the colors that really feel great on you? And start buying those pieces and creating your core set of colors. And so, like for me, for example, something that I've noticed is that in my closet, I'm in that season where green is my color, right? Green because it's so calming, because it's so soothing, and it's money and energy, and that's the vibe that I'm on, right? And so I'm attracting more green into my wardrobe, and so now green is one of those primary colors in my wardrobe. And so for you, it's like noticing what are some of the colors that you are really gravitating to, and start adding those colors into your closet and creating your core set of colors, so that you're not just like, oh, should I try pink today? Should I try blue today? It's like, no, you have a consistent set of colors in your closet, which makes it easier when you're putting together outfits. That makes it easier when you're getting dressed. That makes it easier when you're shopping, because you know exactly what are some of those colors that you gravitate to most. And building a consistent wardrobe with these colors will, allow you to really show up in the way that you want to show up. So if you're joining us late on this conversation or you're here live, I want to thank you for being here. And just to recap, what I was talking about today is the style priorities that you should focus on as you get older. And those priorities are focusing on fit, making sure that you're wearing clothing that fits your body. So proper fit is key. Investing in quality pieces, less is more. Spend your money on actually buying pieces that you want to wear, that you're going to feel great in, and that can last you a longer time. And of course, opt in for comfort, your level of comfort wearing things that you feel comfortable in, really being confident in your skin and thriving for that level of self-acceptance for yourself. And of course, choosing colors that complement you, building your core set of colors within your wardrobe. And so understand, as you build your core wardrobe colors, know that you're going through these style priorities. Now, this is just like a couple that I've shared with you. And as I said before, it's not just to your age, but of course, anyone can apply these. But as you get older, you can focus on these things. And know that with age and time, I'm hoping that you are feeling more confident in yourself. I'm hoping that you are clear in who you are and that you are proudly sharing that with the world. Really do understand that how you look and feel is totally up to you. And I want you to really lean into that, fully lean into who you are and let your wardrobe choices reflect that. And so, as I wrap up today's conversation, thanks again for joining. I want to leave you with some homework, right? Because I can do all this talking and you can think about it and you can go, oh, yeah, I should do this, or I shouldn't, I should start looking at my style this way and how I want to show up. But if we don't do the work, we're not able to create the changes that we want. And the same goes for style. You have to practice it. You have to have a vision. You have to know what you want to wear and how you want to show up. So the homework is to create your style vision board. You can go on Pinterest and, create your vision board, like pin images that you like. Don't know. Here's where I caution you. Don't look at the images from, oh, I don't have that body type, or I don't think I can pull that color off, or, all the negatives that I don't and not, or I shouldn't wear that at my age. But look at the images that you're pinning to your vision board, your style vision board, from the lens of, what is it I like about this particular style? Is it how the person is putting together, the pieces, the colors? Like, what is it you like? Be open, have an open mind, and really pin those pieces to your Pinterest board. Now, if you're old school and you like to print, cut, and paste things on board, then of course do that. But I want to encourage you, I also want to encourage you, like when you're creating your vision board, I would love to see what you came up with. Right? I would love to see how you are, how you want your style to progress and what you want it to look like. So once you create your vision board, if you're open to it, send me a photo of it, and you can DM me on Instagram, here on LinkedIn, or you can also send me an email as well if that's something that you want to do. But I will be, happy to see what you've created and what your style looks like, your vision for yourself. And as we go through these lessons, for you to really, for me to, one, make sure that I'm giving you the tools that you need to really get that style out of you and start wearing it. So thank you very much for showing up today. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for supporting my work as well. I could not have achieved everything that I've gotten so far, especially being one of LinkedIn's top voices in the fashion and beauty industry, without you all. I'm grateful. If we haven't connected as yet, then absolutely click that follow button, send me a DM connection request. Let's connect. I will be happy to hear from you. Thank you very much for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.